shall we commemorate this moment with a selfie?
Walking around TechCrunch Disrupt 2024 last week, you get the idea that this single, brilliant AGI is gonna do everything in the future, even though we don't know what it means. Reality is, AI agents are everywhere, small and swarming, automating, and sometimes breaking rules. You know, like the ones that go to buy Taylor Swift tickets in bulk and then resell them? David Menarche of Valory takes a different approach and says, what if we co-own AI agents and regulate them with transparency using a proven solution that works and doesn't hide the rules in a black box of AI code? Co-owned AI simply is a shift from traditional AI ownership models, which are centralized and really top-down from a single entity. Think OpenAI and ChatGPT. Now, David uses an obvious tool to regulate all this activity. We'll share later, as many in AI don't even think about how simple regulating agents may be. Rules matter, and the hidden rule book is starting to wake up. But still, that control issue bugs me. Here's why.
But there's this, I want to control, like, this is mine, and anyone else would have different motivations, different needs. How do you sort of handle that in a co-owned basis, especially on the agent level, to allow it to be more democratic, if that's the right word?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, there's two things. Like, agreeing like that, yes, if I'm jointly own and operate, let's say, an autonomous AI agent or something of that sort, and then there's the other to assume from the start, like that's what we do, that there will be effectively a society of agents and they'll be all different. Like not assuming that everyone has to use the same model or agree on that kind of agent, right? Like that's how normal society works as well. We have like heterogeneity, like differences and how we go about like solving business problem, how we solve about like governance, how local and like regional and global and in between, right?
Yeah.
And so like if we really have agentic software and have agentic software that becomes more and more powerful, ultimately sort of arbitrarily powerful, then I think it's really helpful if we create like competition between these kind of systems. So implicit in this assumption of co-owned AI is not just that there's like a group of people that jointly control it and there's one system, but rather there's many systems and they somewhat in competition, like we see it with, you know, non-software, like, you know, businesses. If you want, like one way I often think about multi-agent systems or co-owned AI is like as a sort of group of AIs that collectively form a unit that does some sort of emergent thing. That's also how you could describe a business, right? There's a group of people doing something that forms like some sort of higher emergent thing. Yeah. One example, one use case which is currently live is based on prediction markets. So you might have heard of like election-related prediction markets around like who becomes the next president or so. There's a lot of interest in prediction markets also with AI agents, and we actually built this over a year ago and have scaled it now. So these agents have done over 1 million transactions, and like hundreds of community members in our ecosystem run these agents. And these agents effectively, you as a user can own one, or you can run them with a group of friends. And these agents then day in, day out, like participate in these prediction markets with your capital. So rather than you going and looking at like some sort of event and saying, okay, I think this prediction market might not just reflect the reality, the agents do it. And then sort of what you get is these prediction markets, which are entirely based on sort of knowledge from different models and from these AI agents. That's a live example, which you can see today also on predict.olas.network.